and welcome to One Man's Collection. Today I'm looking at the Formula One car collection Ferrari SF15T, as it says there, 2015. Sebastian Vettel vehicle. Now I do have more than one Sebastian Vettel Ferrari. I think there's a couple of years later version, or the following year as well. But we do have this SF15. We're going to have a look at it. 143 scale car, which I think has actually got a lot of detail. I'm going to make sure I don't break any of the little bits and pieces off that. But we'll have a look at that towards the end. I'm going to quickly go through the magazine that came with this particular collection. So the season is the 2015, obviously, with this Ferrari. Vettel takes 3 Grand Prix victories and a further 10 podium places for Ferrari. Yep, technical focus is on this car, the team being the Ferrari team. By the looks of it in the stories, the early 80s, Ferrari developed a turbo engine. Circuit in this particular magazine is the Österreichring, I'm not even sure I'm pronouncing that. Austrian track, with its great and wide fast corners, was loved by F1 drivers and supporters alike. Is that now the Red Bull ring? I think it is. Story of F1 is the 1991 Senna makes it 3. So Ayrton Senna holds off challenger Nigel Mansell to take the world title number 3. So throwing down the gauntlet, Ferrari hit the track determined to beat Mercedes. The progress made by the car from Maranello was obvious, but it wasn't quite enough to curb the invincible German Armada. Even so, Vettel still managed to claim 3 Grand Prix victories. Yeah, jumped over from the Red Bull, didn't he? But Mercedes were pretty much dominating it at the time. And then, obviously, Red Bull came back when Mercedes was no longer dominating. This season, got Ferrari in the Ferrari, so Sebastian in the Ferrari, Daniel Ricciardo in the Red Bull, back with Renault engines, Kimi Raikkonen in third, Danny Kvyat in Red Bull Renault. Oh yeah, Danny Kvyat jumped in, didn't he? Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg in their Mercedes. This is for Singapore Grand Prix. All right. Big surprise at Singapore Grand Prix that Mercedes were off the pace in qualifying, and neither drivers bothered Ferrari or Red Bull for the Maranello outfit. This was the first pole position for the German Grand Prix of 2012. It was the same story for the race itself, and Vettel was able to take his 3rd win of the season in Ferrari. It was a good day, too, for 3rd place Kimi Raikkonen, finishing behind Daniel Ricciardo in the Red Bull. Yeah, cool. Moving on. Grand Prix number 900 for Ferrari at Spa. They've been in it since the beginning, so 900, wow. That was way back then. I wonder how many they're up to now. Not too much more than that, because they're not necessarily dominating either. Uh, 2015 season, the enormous Ferrari flag displayed by Italian fans at the end of every Grand Prix, Italian Grand Prix, 2015, the fans had something to celebrate as Vettel secured 2nd place. Yep. Kimi Raikkonen during the Austrian Grand Prix World Champion in 2007 with Ferrari. The Finn left the team at the end of 2009 but returned in 2014. He did too. I've actually got some of those darker coloured red Ferraris in this collection, or in my Ferrari collection, or both, because I've got both vehicles, I think, from the same year. So the engine is a 6-cylinder, 90-degree V angle, aluminium cinder block, okay, 1600cc, twin overhead cam. Valves is 4 per cylinder, and 702 kilograms of weight. Yeah, wow. All right, moving along, you got the team Ferrari, so 80 to 84. First time Ferrari car with a turbocharged engine was officially used was during qualifying for the 1980 Italian Grand Prix in Imola. Just one 126C was used by Gilles Villeneuve. Pre-race, however, he reverted to the 12-cylinder normally aspirated 312 T5 in the main event. Okay, so just testing, I'm guessing. Turbo production cars. The advent of turbo engines in racing had also repercussions for Ferrari's production cars. In 1983, the company put a 208 turbo on the market, followed in 1984 by the true supercar, the GTO, pictured in a rare image of one of the first GTO prototypes. The panel bears the original name of the car, the 288 GTO. That's that one there. Very nice. Okay, the circuit is the Austrian Grand Prix. This legendary track was located 5 kilometers or 3.1 miles from town of Spielberg by Nittenfeld in the Austrian region of Styria. I hate reading those type of names because I'm terrible at it. Story of Formula 1, 1991. Senna makes it 3. New challenge with Alain Prost languishing the uncompetitive Ferrari. The main contender aiming to halt Ayrton Senna's march was Nigel Mansell, revitalised by his return to Williams. However, despite 5 race victories, the Brit fell short. In my opinion, Nigel Mansell, one of the best Formula 1 drivers there was, in my opinion. Senna is also one of the best. Nigel Mansell came in second at 72 points, but 96 for Ayrton Senna. Shame we lost Ayrton Senna. What might he have done had he stayed around? All right, back in 1983, Patrick Tambay and René Arnoux teamed up for Ferrari, and the 1991 Italian team once again fielded 2 French regular drivers. Alain Prost was supported by young Jean Alesi, who made a great impression at the wheel of the Tyrrell in 1990. Originally from Avignon, but the son of Sicilian parents, Alesi, a true Ferrari lover, had in 1989 taken part in some tests and a race on the wheel of the F40 IMSA run by Ferrari France. Nice. Okay, next magazine, part 43. You get the John Surtees Honda RA300, followed by the Alain Prost McLaren MP42B from 1985. Got a bunch of McLarens with their, advertising. Marlboro with the red shape. None of them have the word Marlboro on them. But you can get decal kits for that. No cigarette advertising on any of these because they're classified as toys. All right, I'm going to have a quick look at this, and then I'm going to put it on a turntable so you can have a more detailed rotation. Seatbelts inside. I can't even get that on the camera. Yeah, just the print on this seat. Decent decals as well. We are running these orange tyres. I don't remember what group level they were. Somewhere in the middle, I think. Some decent front wing downforce attachments there. Lots of little bits and pieces to fall off if you happen to hang on to it the wrong way. Mine sit on the shelf, so I'll give them a little bit of a dust with a makeup brush. The rear end, not a lot there. Very narrow rear wing on that one. She has decals inside as well. And underneath, just Ferrari SF15T and 143. Very little else. I do like these though, and I've got a whole bunch of them. I think in my collection I now have, I think it's 23 or 28 Ferraris, and I think a whole bunch of them are Schumacher Ferraris, among others. Anyway, I'm going to put that on the turntable. Thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I will be back with more next week. And I also have the Supercars collection and the Australian car collection that I'm going through right now, along with the Ferrari car collection that is no longer available. Cheers. Thanks for watching. Bye.